Paris is one of the most visited cities in the world, but knowing a few things before you arrive can completely change a trip. From choosing the right neighborhood and mastering the metro to finding free drinking water and places most visitors walk straight past. These tips will help you see more, waste less time, and make the most of Paris. So before you book your hotel or step off the plane, here are 15 things you'll be glad you knew.
Paris is organized into 20 administrative districts known as arrondissements. They spiral out clockwise from the city center, each with its own unique character. For example, the first arrondissement is home to the Louvre and is located on the right bank of the Seine, while the 7th is across the river on the left bank and houses the Eiffel Tower.
One of the easiest ways to waste time in Paris is to zigzag across the city chasing famous landmarks. Instead, group your sightseeing by neighborhood. You can visit the Louvre and Palais Royal on one day, then explore Notre Dame and the Latin Quarter another. Paris is best experienced on foot, so leave enough time to wander, stop at a cafe, and discover places you actually weren't looking for.
When choosing where to stay in Paris, you can't go wrong. Just decide what you want to see most and stay nearby. And we have an entire video on the best arrondissement in Paris in the links below. There's another thing that Paris has is the great metro system. And fun fact about that is that almost every building in Paris is located within 500 meters of the metro. How convenient is that?
Paris also has one of the easiest metro systems in the world once you understand how it works. Every line has a number and a color, but the most important thing to check is the name of the final station. That tells you which direction the train is traveling. So before going underground, download the Île-de-France Mobilité app so you can plan your route while you're still having a strong signal. And when you're ready to leave the station, follow the signs marked sortie and pay attention to the exit number because some stations have several exits. Choosing the wrong one can leave you blocks away from where you meant to be. Paris has also moved away from the old paper ticket system. Visitors can load the metro, train, and RER tickets right onto their phone with Navigo EasyCard. And just remember that airport trips to Orly or Charles de Gaulle require a separate airport ticket, and buses and trams use a different ticket from the metro and RER.
The Statue of Liberty isn't just in New York. Paris actually boasts several replicas, with the most notable on Île aux Cygnes, a man-made island in the Seine. It was inaugurated on July 4th, 1889, facing west towards its American sister. There's also a smaller one in the Jardin du Luxembourg. In the charming neighborhood of Montmartre, there's a hidden vineyard called Clos Montmartre. It's been producing wine since 1933. Now, you can't visit the vineyard itself, but every October there's a harvest festival called Fête de Vendange, where you can sample its wines.
And the vineyard isn't the only place in Paris that's easy to walk straight past. Keep an eye out for the city's covered passages, especially around the 1st, 2nd, and 9th arrondissements. These narrow entrances barely stand out from the surrounding streets, but step inside and you'll find glass ceilings, mosaic floors, old bookshops, cafes, and small boutiques. They're also a great place to explore when it rains, and many visitors never even realize they are there.
Beneath Paris lies the Catacombs, a massive underground ossuary that holds the remains of over 6 million people and spans an estimated 280 to 320 kilometers. However, only a tiny portion of the catacombs is open to the public.
Make sure you book a timed entry well in advance and make sure you bring a jacket. Also take note that the entrance and the exit are in 2 different areas, so you will be coming out far away from where you entered.
Paris has a lot of cemeteries, from Père Lachaise to the Catacombs. But did you know that Paris is home to one of the world's first pet cemeteries? The Cimetière de Chiens, located on the Île des Ravageurs, is the final resting place for thousands of beloved pets, including a famous Saint Bernard named Barry from Switzerland. Rin Tin Tin is also in the cemetery.
Make sure to bring a reusable bottle because buying water all day in Paris can add up quickly. The famous green Wallace fountains aren't merely decorative, they provide free drinking water throughout the city. Just make sure the fountain is marked eau potable, because not every decorative fountain in Paris is meant for drinking. The city now has more than 1,300 public drinking fountains, and some are even dispensing free sparkling water. Nobody likes talking about toilets, but it's certainly one of the biggest problems when visiting Paris. Cafes require you to buy something if you want to use their toilet. But don't worry, Paris has free self-cleaning street toilets, and they are much easier to appreciate when you find one 5 minutes earlier rather than 5 minutes late. So use your phone to search the map for the nearest public toilet before it becomes an emergency. Paris is one of the most visited cities on Earth, welcoming tens of millions of visitors each year, which is why booking major attractions ahead of time can make a huge difference. We have links to all of the attractions that you won't want to miss in the description below, so make sure to check them out and book your timed entry.
The Louvre isn't just the most visited museum on Earth. Another fun fact about Paris, it's also the largest in the world, covering over 72,000 square meters of exhibition space. It houses approximately 38,000 objects, including the Mona Lisa and the Venus de Milo. Trust me, it can get really crowded.
Notre Dame reopened in December of 2024, and it sees 12 million visitors per year. Notre Dame is free to enter, and you can reserve a free time slot through the cathedral's official website. One of the best ways to make the most of Paris is to plan the major attractions before you arrive. So book a timed entry rather than showing up and hoping for the best. Even visitors who qualify for free admission are encouraged to reserve a time slot. The Eiffel Tower may be the most famous landmark in the city, but going up it may not give you the best view. We recommend checking out some other views from the Arc de Triomphe, Montparnasse Tower, or the hills of Montmartre. Of course, you can still visit the Eiffel Tower, especially if it's your first visit, but choose your viewpoint based on the photograph and experience you actually want. Sometimes the best way to appreciate an icon is to stand somewhere else and look at it. Restaurants can be intimidating in Paris, so there are a few simple rules at cafes that can make your experience much easier. Always begin with bonjour before asking for anything, even if you're only buying a coffee or a baguette. At the restaurant, ask for un carafe d'eau if you want free tap water. And Canadians and Americans can relax about tipping. The service is already included in the menu prices.
Paris earned the nickname La Ville Lumière, or the City of Light, in the 19th century. It was one of the first cities in Europe to adopt gas street lighting. And today, the city comes alive at night with the Eiffel Tower glittering all around the city.
But take note, that golden glow turns off at 11:45 p.m. year-round. And that iconic sparkle, it happens every hour on the hour for 5 minutes, with the final one ending at midnight.
It's sparkling! And another quick fact, did you know that the love locks on Pont des Arts no longer exists?
Part of the bridge's railing collapsed under the weight of the locks, and the city eventually removed hundreds of thousands of them. So it's now forbidden to lock love on the bridge, but you can still seal it with a kiss. Many museums and cultural sites are closed on certain days of the week in Paris, so make sure to check for openings before you book. For example, the Musée d'Orsay is closed on Mondays, while the Louvre is closed on Tuesdays. When choosing where to stay in Paris, don't assume you have to stay beside the Eiffel Tower. Paris is compact and well connected, so being close to a metro station may matter more than being close to one of the famous landmarks. Check the walking distance from your hotel to the nearest station and look at whether that line connects easily with the places you most want to visit.
And these were some fun facts about Paris. Check out our playlist about France below, and don't forget to subscribe and click on that bell for notifications because we put up new travel videos every week. and you don't want to miss one.